Hey, how's everybody doing in the world of internet promotions, productions, friends, and family? Today, I have taken that plunge, pulled out my webcam camera, attached it to my computer. Once again, I tried this when I first bought this camera like 2 years ago, and it didn't work. But now that I really want to learn how to use YouTube Live, I plugged it in to the right USB port, and guess what? Yes, you guessed it. Here I am, live, sitting here at Y2K Associates headquarters, where we produce the Y2K show, WKI Entertainment, where we maintain the Y2K show Facebook page, where we will be announcing as it develops Available Now TV, and where we also sit, contact vendors, venues, where we're constantly having to look for venues for long-term usage purposes. Now, we're new to Las Vegas. We originated in San Jose, California. We changed the company's name to Y2K Associates. That's without any spaces, because originally we set up ourselves as Y2KAssociates.com. Now, unless you put an underscore or a dash in a name for a .com, it's generally just one word. So clear that all up for everybody. The name of the company is Y2K Associates. Very simple. Why did we name the company Y2K Associates? Well, because before we were known as NameAssociates.com. That made it too easy for people to slander us privately. Also, it made people privy to what the actual name of the producer of the company was. And I was advised back in 97, 98 that we should not make ourselves that available to people that would want to destroy us or frivolous lawsuits or anything by knowing the private name of the person who generated the associates. So, also, second reason is, how in 1997, 98, 99, they were talking about these various tragedies were going to occur, like computers are going to stop working because they weren't going to be able to flip over to a 2 for 2000, and that California was going to have a major earthquake and become an island. Well, living in California, we didn't believe none of that, first of all. We didn't believe that California would ever become an island. Just a big enough earthquake occur in our lifetime that you'd be in the island of California. No. So, with all those things in consideration, we decided that we were going to take advantage of Y2K, the year 2000. For those of you that have forgotten, Y2K stands for the year 2000. That we were going to take advantage of that and see how far down the road we would still be known as Y2K. And because we're not just one person, we're comprised of associates. And I would have to say nationwide, most of them are inactive unless they're called up. Y2K Associates like a secret entertainment op. We call it Black Ops. And overall, if we were to come across any of these people, they would be happy to work with us. So they're known as associates. Roughly about 200. Yeah, 200 across the nation. Because as people get older, they move. They become inactive, sleeper cells, however you want to phrase it. But actively, I'd have to say that we have approximately 20 active associates at any time of the year, any day, any night, that are ready and waiting to be called to action in supporting whatever it is we're doing with Y2K Associates. What is Y2K Associates? We're a special events planning company that includes production and promotions. Now, most of the time when we're out promoting an event we're having, people ask us, are you a promotion company? Technically, yes, we are, because we promote our own events. You could call us a multi-glomerate. I don't want to use the word monopoly, but, different aspects and different people within the associates have different skills. And when those skills are needed, we call those skills into play, and it becomes one unit. Because if anybody's going to get paid, we want to pay people in our association. We don't really want to go outside of our association to pay people, because then they'll just take the money and go. But if we pay the people inside the association, then they can use that money, pay some bills, make a car payment, go out to a movie, buy groceries. It's designed to help the individuals inside the organization. My position is president of the company. Doesn't mean I'm the ruler or I'm the sole owner. I don't own Y2K Associates. Y2K Associates is a nonprofit organization that is a 501c7, which stands for Entertainment and Education, which in our bylaws, we are an entertainment company that teaches up and coming individuals the entertainment business. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. And it's not very, we don't get a lot of applause for doing this. And most of the people that we try to help do their best to work against us, because it's a hard thing to do this entertainment business right. Now, within the 20 active members of Y2K Associates, there's like 300-400 years of experience, starting at the bottom and working to the top. So we know, we know what it takes to be successful in this entertainment business. Yeah, we know. So we done heard all the reasons not to do it right, how to fail, because you don't want to succeed in the entertainment field. Now, the entertainment field that we work with is poetry, comedy, hip-hop, R&B, a saxophone player, a guitar player. If you do any type of entertaining, singing, poetry writing, we support you. Because we know each of us haven't been where you're trying to get to in this entertainment field, which is on stage with a room full of fans cheering you. We've done it. We've gone from having nobody but ourselves in rooms where we just went back and forth, entertaining ourselves on stage, to understanding the importance of having people pay and come watch the show. We've gone to the additional heights of doing our own flyer design. We particularly design the flyer so it has a tendency to go right past people that, go to shows and create problems and stuff. We have a 0 incident rate, and we've been putting on shows since 1996. Yeah, 0 incident rate. That means no major incident has ever occurred at any show we've ever done. Now, we might have members that have been in shows where something happened. Can't say that it hasn't. Might not. I just am not aware of each time somebody that's a Y2K associate was in a show where they personally became involved in a major problem that occurred at that show. I don't know, because I can't speak of it, because it hasn't been reported to me ever. In all the years we've been doing this, we've had one purpose. Is if you're working towards being in a show we're having, you don't have no time to get in trouble, to interrupt any of that. Okay? That's the way we roll, you know. But like I said, we have made an art and mastered that art of passing out handbills, either live hand to hand to people on cars. We've located businesses that would allow us to put our handbills on their counter. And we've gone as far as to attract our friends to go to these venues or these businesses to get our flyer on what our next show is going to be. Now, this is all way before they invented Facebook, and they know what a YouTube was. And there was no MySpace, and AOL chat rooms was not the best way. What we used to do is we had email lists. We sent out an email blast on our upcoming event so that the people we couldn't get our hands on, we would email them the flyer. Now, back in the real old days, when I was part of Mixed Masters Productions, that's in the 80s, and Xanadu Musical Promotions, which was also in the 80s. We had our own magazine called Xanadu Musical Promotions. Xanadu Musical Promotions Magazine. Let me put that whole name in there. But as Mixed Masters Productions, we had a Class 1 mailer stamp pressed right onto our magazine. Now, our magazine, granted, wasn't nothing but started out being, a front cover, a back, and 2 inside pages. And then we had to go to 4 inside pages. Then it got up to 6 inside pages. And then it was up to 8. And finally, at 10 inside pages, we needed to find a better printing source because it was too big for us to do at home anymore. But anyway, we could fold that up, put your address label on it, first class mail, sorted by zip code, and the mail, U.S. mail, would send those magazines out for us that had articles, information, and most assuredly had our flyer of our next event inside that magazine or on the cover of that magazine. We had models that we supported, young women, 18, 25, that were trying to create a modeling career. We gave them that outlet, we gave them that outlet. I'm just reading some of the instructions here. Like I said, there's nobody in here but me right now, and I'm live for like 13 minutes now. I've just been rambling. But it says over here, new, hold potential inappropriate messages for review. Chat messages will be flagged in chat for you or your moderators to approve or remove them. You can turn this on and off anytime in your chat settings. Okay, let me turn that on. And then I'll be right back. I got to go read some more instructions on how to put ours in YouTube while we're going YouTube Live. So hold on a minute. I'll be right back. Okay, well, I didn't have any luck with that. I tried to go to our other computer hooked up to the big giant screen for when we're having meetings and everybody's not trying to stare at my 19-inch monitor or the 18-inch laptop. So over here, Let me show you. Let me just show you really quick here. Let me talk about this back up here. We need to move you a little bit anyway. Okay, can you see that? Can you see that? That's our meeting monitor. And then when we do conference meetings, there's a room full of people here and there's a room full of people at the conference center. You know, we go to the additional computer. You know, it's got its own private laptop, and yes, way over there against the kitchen wall, there's another computer set up to search for venues and to do follow-up with email friends of ours. You know, anything that I can't do over here and that we don't do over here on the big screen. See, the big screen is just sitting here waiting for its opportunity to get involved. We also play video games over there. I ain't gonna lie to you. We don't always be at work on that screen. And then I'm over here. You probably, because of the light, you can't see the reflection. Yeah, you can't see that hard light over there, but this is me over here in the center operation. So let me put this back without knocking everything over, breaking nothing, and you not being able to see me anymore. Okay, so now let's put that back up there. And so somebody is saying, Papa will say something. Hello, welcome to YouTube Live and in living color. Let me just post that. I'm still in here alone. I guess I'm supposed to try and invite some people. So let's see if there's a button here. Nope, we got 0 people looking. And down here, we got emojis. And here's where I can post. So now, the next thing I'll be trying to do is participants, pop out chat, toggle timestamps. Let's see if we can get some participants. Where do you look for participants? Oh no, nobody knows I'm in here. It's just me. I'm doing this thing all by myself. I am learning how to use Facebook Live. Okay, I'm sorry. No bad intentions, YouTube. I didn't mean that. Strike that statement from the records. I meant YouTube. I am on YouTube Live. Okay? Thank you. Have to get them disclaimers in there, you know. All of this stuff belongs to Microsoft, you know, so hey, they should get it. That was just a free plug for Facebook Live. That's all that was, y'all, okay? Now, like I was saying about who we are. Promotions. Promotions is what up-and-coming artists don't want to do. And let me tell you why. Promoters are paid to promote venues, events, artists, products, whatever. But the hardest thing is to get an up-and-coming artist to promote themselves. Now, I've heard excuses like, well, if you go out and you promote yourself, that a show that you're going to be in as an artist, that the promoter is going to get all the money. That is the silliest thing you could say out of your mouth. And if you've ever said it, praise God that you never do that again, because that is ludicrous. That just boils our blood over here at Y2K Associates that artists say that. Because the true reason, now you can dispute this if you want, but the true reason that artists do not promote themselves is because they know their performance is not ready. There it is. Plain and simple. They have not spent enough time on a free stage to get their presentation together, and they won't tell anybody. They don't want their mamas, their daddies, their brothers, sisters, nieces, cousins, grandchildren, godchildren, great nieces, great nephews. They don't want none of those people to come and see them with a weak performance. And some artists never get past being a weak performer, and they never gather any fans. They don't make good enough music. Now let's just take two genres: hip hop, R&B. You're either a hip hop artist or you're an R&B. That's what I'm talking about right here. Let's just take those two genres right there. If you're a hip hop artist and you don't know the art of making music, then you should stop making music, because you're only doing it for folly. And if you don't know what folly means, it means to be messing around, not trying to accomplish anything successful. Okay? I said it. Yeah. Me. Papa Will, aka Mr. Y2K. Same thing for singers. If you make bad songs, you don't want nobody to hear them songs, so you just keep making songs. You just keep making songs. Look up, you got a whole library of music no one has ever heard. Why? Because you've never bothered to stop and learn the method of making a song with good content. Good content. Content is the key. If what you have to say in your rap or your singing is worthless, stop it. Stop it. Don't do it anymore, because it's totally unnecessary. It's crazy. It's crazy. And don't ever accuse a promoter of wanting to get all the money, because we here at Y2K Associates, we spend all the money that it takes to put you on stage, and we don't ask you for a nickel. Nothing. Our hopes is that you learn to make great music, you learn to go out and sell that music, you learn to accumulate fans, so that we can put you in a show and call you either a featured artist or a headliner. And featured artists get paid, headliners get paid more. I know lots of kids that started out in the boys club that now get paid to travel all across the country to perform. They sell thousands of records all the time. They're not signed to nobody. Themselves, and what they picked up working with us for years, that's what they do. And now we're here in Vegas. We're trying to get you guys to do the same thing. All we want you to do is make music that you can be proud of. Be proud of your music. If you're not proud of it, don't make it. Leave it in the cutting floor and start over. Do not produce that bad music, because it's never going to appeal to you. And if your music doesn't appeal to you and you're in a live show accidentally, you're not going to tell anyone to be there to see you screwing around, indulging in folly. Folly is an unacceptable behavior in live local entertainment. Yes, it is. And we will put you on stage with your bad music, your voice. Here's the other thing. This is the thing that slays me the most. Never, ever, ever in your whole entire lifetime perform over your finished product. If you can't learn to lip sync like Nelly and Vanilli used to do not try to perform that song live. Just give it to the DJ. Let him play it. You'd be better off if your friend, the DJ, would just slip your song into his music rotation. And if it's bad music and he listens to it first, you still ain't going to hear it because it's bad. He's trying to play copyrighted music, and he's going to try and slip your crap in there. They don't do it. They haven't done it in the 70s. They didn't do it in the 80s. It didn't happen in the 90s, and it won't happen in the 21st century. So I'm telling you now, stop making crappy music and thinking that it's okay. Once you make a song, let somebody that's not in that studio listen to it, and then ask them what they think. If it's a hit, they're going to tell you the truth. If it's crap, they ain't going to tell you nothing, because they don't want to hurt your feelings. And then we put you in a show. We videotape all our shows. So just imagine you are always performing to a room full of people if Y2K Associates is there and we put you in this show. If we put you in a show, with your crappy performance and your bad music, not only will we give you your music, that's our policy now. we will give you your crappy set. But more importantly, your crappy set is going to become part of our well-designed video. Send it to YouTube. Yes. And you can't tell us, oh, don't promote my set. Let me tell you about the law. If you perform in public where photography and videography is permitted, you put away your rights to have any say-so in that music. Unless, of course, that music is monetized, and each time it plays, because you have your ass cap in place, you get paid for doing it. Now, generally, people that have their music monetized on YouTube are people with good music and good fans, because it takes at least 10,000 hits before the ads start showing on your music. If you register yourself, now listen to me, this is really important. I'm giving up all the secrets to the game. It costs me nothing to give this to you. If you register yourself with ASCAP, you must let them know where you performed your music live so that you can get your royalties from having performed that song. Now, if you perform in public and we're there videotaping it, that's our content. It's our show. It's our rules, which if you want to check with your lawyer, he'll tell you that, yes, if you perform in our show and we're videotaping you, that's our music. That's our presentation. That's our footage. Now, if you have your song ASCAP, you can get paid because we are a registered ASCAP venue provider. In other words, we're registered to put artists on stage on a show that says Y2K Associates on it, or the Y2K show, and make that ASCAP registered. So you can get your royalties from performing your song. Now, I know that sounds a little far-fetched for some of you, because this next thing I'm going to tell you should do is really going to blow you away. Besides having your copyrights, because you're an independent artist, besides having your copyrights to your material, your music, your singing, your comedy, your poetry, you need to have a barcode. Don't look at me like you don't understand what a barcode is. Just punch barcode in your URL in your browser and learn what a barcode is. You should have a barcode, because if you print up any music or make any video that is going to be made available for sale. Now, let's say, take for example, you perform in a show with us. We videotape it. We master it. We, edit it and everything. We put all the supporters and everything in it. We try to make it as glossy as we can for you. We will also put in there where people can buy your music. And it costs you nothing. We do all of these services like any other marketing, advertising, promotional, production company do. And we do it for the up-and-coming artists for free. That's why I get so hot when artists say, well, if I bring on my fans, then the promotion production company, they get all the money. And you think that's wrong. Well, after what I've just told you that we do for you, you should never say that out your mouth ever again. Because first of all, as a promotion and production company, you could not afford to pay us to even know us. You can't afford to pay us. For what we offer you, you could not afford to pay us to do that. Well, let's get that part straight. You could not afford to pay us to put you in a show. That's called booking, getting you booked. Let's just take that one thing right there. How does an artist get into a show? Oh, well, you have your booking agent go out and talk to promoters and producers of special events and get you booked into a show. Well, that booking costs you a fee. Generally, it's $150 an hour if you sign a booking agent to you. Now, if you sign a booking company, they're going to want at least $300 in advance, and then something reasonable like $75 to $150 each time they get you a booking. Can you afford that? Of course you can. Or else you wouldn't be an up-and-coming artist. You'd already be famous, and somebody else would have you on a label, and they would be taking that money out of your royalties from your record sales. Then all you have to do is show up in the studio, make music, be where they tell you, be manageable, don't show up drunk, don't start no fights, don't steal nothing, don't make it so nobody wants to ever see you in their venue again, and always alert all your fans to be there. That's all you have to do. And then your label supposedly, I say supposedly, is handling all that back traffic for you. Doesn't happen. I've seen artists sign to a label and then they get shelved. Labels own the first right of refusal of any music you turn into them. So say you had one good song. And by the time you got that one good song out where the public could see it, you're already in debt for thousands of dollars. Because one, at a label's level of studio, that shit costs you hundreds of dollars an hour. And anytime you spend there, you are on their clock, whether you're making music or not, whether you keep starting over or not. It's still costing you music. You can go in there, get upset, and go pout, and go sit out in the car and smoke a blunt. That clock is still running on your label. Yeah. Say you're at the studio and you smoke weed. And so your manager brings in an ounce of weed for you to smoke. That ounce of weed costs you money. And now you want to be popping bottles in the studio. You want big bottles of Hennessy, Blue Goose, Jack Daniels. That costs you money. Say you don't have a car and they go out and lease you a car where those payments every month cost you money. Worse yet, say your record is doing really good and they go buy you a car. That car costs you money. They buy you a house. That house costs you money. But all of that, that's, you got to get to that level first. But I'm just saying, if you're an up-and-coming artist and you get signed to a label, they usually want you to give up your rights to that music. So if you don't make it, they still got the rights to your song. And then they have a tendency to take that clause out about first right to refusal because they want you to produce as many songs as you possibly can because they're going to keep all of them. And if they need to remaster them or take your vocals out and put some more famous guy or a better rapper, they own that right to do that. Take you clean out of your song and put some well-known guy in there, get you some backup vocal singers, and make you a real song. Rap ain't no different from R&B. It's just a new wave of entertainment. But what they will do is they will take that clause out of there, first right to refusal, and then someone might leave that in there. And they still own your rights to your music. So you mess up, they'll kick you out the door. You say you want to get off the label, we'll buy you out. You're out. Broke. All they did was take money from your record sales, transfer it into your Social Security account, meaning that you're responsible for the taxes with the IRS, post that to your sales and say goodbye to you. Cost them nothing to sell music in your name because you was with their label and they owned that music. You're still responsible for the taxes on it, but you'll get none of the money. Ask some famous artists that you've ever heard of, if you ever get a chance to talk to them. Ask them, has that ever happened to them? I'm not going to drop no names because I know quite a few people that are friends of mine that has happened to. So I'm not dropping no names. You got to go find out this information on your own, okay? It just wouldn't be fair because those people are still famous for me to be dropping their name on how they're still responsible for paying their taxes on music that they're not even getting paid for. But let's just come back down to earth. Let's come back down here. I can't say this enough, that if you produce crappy music, first of all, do not perform over that crappy music. If you make music at home and you don't have the total workings of the dials and controls and the slide bars to make sure that you have the timing exactly set as prescribed, if you're not creating verses, a bridge, or a repeated hook, that's another thing I'm starting to see. It's the worst thing you could do is be the one that's repeating your hook. Go get a friend, a girlfriend, whatever, your mama, a niece, daughter, somebody to do that hook. Because that's sounding really bad nowadays where, you're singing this song and then you come to the hook and you're going, repeat my hook, repeat my hook, repeat my hook, repeat my hook before you go to your next verse. And then you're not putting a proper lead in, it's called a bridge, from your verse to your hook. You need a bridge. And that's where you bring your last verse in the direction of your hook. It's called a bridge. And you can repeat that bridge after a verse. Repeat that bridge. Don't do it no more than twice to lead into your hook. And have, if you don't have somebody else doing your hook on your music, don't repeat your hook more than 3 times. At the end of 3 times, bridge yourself back into your next verse. Does that make sense? Because it makes perfect sense to me. I've been around music all my life. I'm 63 years old. I'm older than most account executives now in the music industry because their bosses are too rich to show up anymore. Me, I grew up in the streets, shot craps in the alley. What's the chances that I would get my head out my butt while I was younger and do this thing right? So I did it. I did it. I did it. Yes, yes, yes. I have done it right. Got that money. Lived real good. Everything. Did it. Did it. Yeah. Only reason why you know me now is because God has brought me back to this point in my life to help up and coming artists. So if you watch this video, you will know that Papa Will does this to help up and coming artists. Yeah. I don't leave this house and go to nobody's job ever. Haven't in the last 8 years, living off of my production income. So don't ask me for no money because that would be ridiculous. Don't ask me to buy your nothing for you. Done that. Got no reward. Lost whatever. I've produced CDs for artists for them to go out and sell. All they need to do is bring me back $2. Sell it for whatever you want. Just bring me back $2. They could not do that. How long do you think we stayed in business? I give you $100 worth of CDs and I get 0 back. How long do you think I kept doing that for anybody? I moved on to the next person. Oh, you're doing the same thing. I've produced mixtapes for multiple artists. Flyers for 5,000 of them to go out and promote this CD that you're on. Sell it. Make money. Do you think that any of them are still doing it? No, they're not. I'm telling you. Don't even think about it. No, they are not doing that. So if you got an opportunity to get yourself at the mixtape level and get on a mixtape and the guy gives you flyers to go out and promote, do that. And if he says, bring me $2 out of 10, you need to be breaking your neck doing that. Worst thing you could do is not bring the money back. Cost you nothing. Somebody else done produced this CD and you're worried about them getting $2, then you need to get out of this music industry and get back over to your felonious folly, real life over there. Because this is not the business for you. This is a business, ladies and gentlemen. A business. Okay? There are people that work really hard doing the wrong thing to make it in this business that never make it in this business. Okay? Never make it. Working their asses off. Doing the wrong damn thing because they don't want to listen to nobody. Well, I'm going to tell you right here really quick, and then we're going to have to figure out what's next in this evolution of YouTube Live now that I'm here live at YouTube Live. Let me turn on the light and see how much it messes up everything. Light. And God said, before you break anything, you Elias, let there be light. Okay, so now we got light. Now, it's getting a little dark outside. I've been a little long-winded. So now, I just want to tell you this. If you know us, work with us. Do the things I've said here in this video, and I swear, you will be one of those successful performers that everybody will always want to come see. Just do the things that I mentioned in this YouTube video on my first day out. Now, I'm going to try to make this a regular thing whenever I have something to say about the business, because one, I don't talk about what other people are doing unless it's the right thing. If they're doing this business the right way, that'll be the only way I mention it. I will never talk bad or say anything negative about anyone on live video posted to the internet. It's not because I'm afraid of anybody. It's because it makes horrible business sense to talk bad about people. It does. You know your mama taught you. If you can't say something good about somebody, don't say nothing at all. Well, that is true. In 2018, that is still true. Never, ever, in your whole entire lifetime, have anything negative to say about somebody, either in front of a camera or in front of another human. That is the most horrible thing you can do. And everybody claims they believe in the Bible, they believe in God, ain't never read the Bible, have never talked to God, have never given over your entire life to the Holy Spirit. Don't do it. That's the evil that men do. That's the evil in our lives. Don't do that. I don't mean to be preaching, but can I get an amen? Thank you, Jesus. Here, I'm just kidding. Don't do it. The most horrible thing an entertainer can do is go around talking about another entertainer just to get negative publicity from that conversation. So what if you said something good and nobody ever mentioned what you said good about somebody? So what? Keep saying good things about people. And people will say good things to you and about you. And that's how life is, because I don't think that we really need this light on right now. So you rather than say something bad about the light, I'll just turn that light off, go upstairs, get the big boy. There we are. Big boy. Light turned on. Yeah, that's the studio light up there. Let me get up here. And yeah, as you can see, I'm not as black as some of y'all think. In some instances, I'm whiter than the most white person you'll ever meet. Just got that Africanoid skin color from the mama. Yeah, my mama gave me that colorful skin. See that color? There's one color there. There's another color here. Another color going on over there. Look, my rusty, dusty elbows. Got another color on them. That's how we get down in the real world. Somebody said, well, you shouldn't be proud of being black. Well, the answer to that is be proud to be alive, because you know that your presence on this earth is meaningful and does things for others. Be proud of that. And also, I'm using this public platform to say this, and you can agree or you can disagree. Black people do not own the rights to the word nigga. So I don't. N-I-G-G-A. Black people do not own the rights to using that word. Because if they did, they would be found on the New York Stock Exchange, and I would own me some of that stock because I would be out here selling it to the white people, the Latinos, the Filipinos, the Chinese, the Europeans, the Asiatic ancestors of ours that have come back down out of the north. I would be selling stock to everybody if black people own the word Nigga. Now, you can take offense to how it's said, but if you was born after 1958, you really have nothing to stand on. You wasn't born when the law was segregation. You weren't around when it said colored entrance, white entrance, colored water fountain, white water fountain, colored restroom, white jobs, black no jobs. Step off the sidewalk here for white people. You wasn't even born then. So what fight do you think you're carrying on when anybody other than African of descent? Now remember that too. Remember I said that. African descent. Because this whole planet is African descent. Don't use, and I'm telling you, never, ever in your whole entire lifetime from this moment forward, use the word race to refer to an ethnic group of people. That is just wrong. That's worse than wrong. It should be illegal to use the word race. But you know why we do? Because still, today, in the 21st century, you fill out a job application, they still have the prejudice and brainwashing to ask you what race you are. Yeah, they still ask that question. That's the most racist thing this country has to offer, is to ask you, what race are you? Yeah. Do not fall for that ever again. Remember, there's only one race of humans called humanoid. Yeah, that's what we all are. Human. Remember that. So when you fill out your next application, if it don't say human on there somewhere, you go down to where it says other and you check that box and you write human in there. That's all I'm asking you. Just write human in there. Right there. Write human. Remember that. I teach my kids this, I got mixed children, half white, everything. And they have been brainwashed to think that we are all different races. We are not different races. We are one damn race, human. And somebody told me once, well, the human means species and race means color. They didn't say the word color, but that's what they was insinuating. That black people are a different race than white people or Chinese people, European people, and we're not. The Constitution of the United States, a racist ass piece of paper, was taken from the original form of the African government that ruled this country before it was overthrown. And in that, they added the clause that blacks, because so many more were in the South, in their opinion, because they was killing us off as Native Americans in the North, killing us off. They claimed they was killing the Indians. When we watch cowboy Indian movies, they be looking all half white. Well, no. Look up your heritage. Look up your ancestry. Learn that when the Asians crossed the land bridge and migrated south into what's known as Canada, North America, and South America, there was already black people here. You hear me? There was already black people here. They weren't no slaves. They were the natural indigenous people to this continent. But because this is a racist country we live in, we have all been brainwashed to believe that we are some kind of different race. In the Constitution, when they met to create their New World Order, the Southerns just knew they was going to get more seats in the Senate based on the population. They said, and the North said, no, y'all got all them slaves down there since 1500s, and if we counted each one of them as a person, y'all would automatically win more seats in the Senate over us. So no, you can't do that. So what they came up with was the 4/5 law. They considered originally slaves in the South as 4/5 human. It takes 4 black people to equal 1 human, 1 white person. That way, for every 4 black people, the South got 1 vote in the Senate for that. And in the North, like I said, they were still killing us off up here in the North. Now they call it, they was killing off the Indians. Well, those people's names ain't Indians. That was the Christopher Columbus conspiracy to go back to Spain and say that he had found India. No, he never made it to India. And now we all know that there was a black pilot that led him to where he landed when they ran out of food and fresh water to drink. The islands of the Caribbean. Never made it to the continent of North America. Never. And that name, Indians, the most hateful name you could call a Native American, we still call it. Now the Indians are calling it. You know why? Because they're part white now. They were black and Asiatics, and they done slowly traversed into being white people. See that? And those are the Indians. If you want to use the word Indians, I prefer, if you say, okay, indigenous meant that you was already here, and migrated means that you came to here. And how could that evolve into indigenous? Is because the indigenous people, the Africans that were here, that carried over until it became less Africanoid, more Caucasoid. And that's Native America. Because they ain't going to admit that the Native was black, that black people ruled this continent before it was overthrown. You don't understand that, understand this. The reason why it's still legal to kill black people in this country, because we are a conquered people. Now I'm saying that in reference to the people whose ancestors are indigenous to this landmass, not the ones that were taken as prisoners from lost wars in Africa and sold on the slave market. I'm not talking about them. That's a whole another story right there. Horrible. But either way you look at it, indentured servitude was created by England to this continent as one of them. Indentured servitude. That means that you owed England money. England put you on a ship and sent you to America to be the indentured or slave to the black slave, white slave owners. The slave owners were black and their slaves were white. You can disagree with that too. But until you go and research what I just said, you don't say it. You're just showing your, I don't mean ignorance, but you're just showing your brainwashing, because your blank brain will block anything that's contradictory to what you've been taught over and over on your subliminals. But going back to young people that you don't have no right to tell who should use the word Nigga. None. But you should protest against anybody. African, European, Mongoloid, Caucasoid. You should always rebel against the word race. See how we can use that word? It has no negative connotation to anybody, because we all have been brainwashed to believe that we're all racist. Yeah, we're all racist. Now, I don't mean that you're prejudiced against, Caucasoids or Mongoloids, but that we're all racist. We've all been taught to be racist oriented. Like we're all different races. Like if you ask, let's just take religion for a minute here again. If you ask a Jew, hey man, what race are you? You know what you're allowed to get told? I'm a Jew. Now, what race is Jew? Hey, man, what race are you? Oh, I'm Catholic. What race is Catholic? What does the Catholic race distinguish itself as being a different species of animal than human? None. It's just brainwashing. Just brainwashing. You can turn on the TV, and I swear to God, you watch TV long enough in a day, other than a pre-programmed series, sometimes maybe in a movie, you are going to have brainwashing mentioned in the TV program. What is my suggestion? If it ain't shooting something, blowing something up, falling out the sky, superhero oriented, don't watch it. And leave your news alone, your magazines alone. Don't read print that you see on your computer. The stories that you see pop up. Don't read that stuff. And fight yourself to believe that human is the only race of Homo sapiens. Well, that's all the time I'm going to take up this time, man. I had a lot to say. I know, this program should come with a disclaimer, but I didn't play any music on here yet or any videos. But when I become able to flip a switch and you get to see a video right in the middle of my presentation, I'll have to enter disclaimers to that. And if you happen to see this video down the road, please feel free to leave any kind of comment, positive or negative. I've been around on this planet long enough to be able to accept negative feedback from what comes out of brainwashed people's mouths. And just remember this, I love everybody on this planet. I don't have an ill feeling towards anyone. And if you do, you need to get over that. Thank you very much.